Alan Stratton from Woodturning. I appreciate viewers who make project suggestions. In fact, 2 viewers, John Jackson and Larry McCafferty, made the same suggestion, a travel mug. In fact, John reports that every Saturday morning he enjoys his cup of Morning Joe while he watches my weekly video. Now, I need a travel mug also, but mine will be for chocolate. So let's make a travel mug.
For this cup, I'm using red oak scraps from a friend's stairway remodel. I used 2 pieces. On one piece, the glue joints were failing. I split them on the glue joint. I do hope his stairwell is okay. This mug will use stave construction. Each piece is about 8 inches long and 1 7/16 inch from long point to long point. The cut angle is 22.5 degrees. I normally use a 0 clearance insert for the table saw, but don't like to use it for angle cuts. They would make it definitely non-zero clearance. I made a sled to make cutting the staves safe. It has a replaceable insert, front and back fences to bridge the saw blade, a blade guard on the rear fence, and an adjustable fence with a hold-down clamp. I didn't get fancy with the fence. I use spacers between it and my normal fence to ensure parallel and to make width adjustments. For glue up, I'm using Titebond Original Extend for the first time. It's supposed to have a more rigid glue line that I'm hoping works better for segmented work. I'm gluing these staves 4 at a time into halves. I've spread tape, glue side up, on a board and placed the staves on the tape. I masked off the outer sides to prevent glue contamination. Then I spread glue liberally, rolled up the set of staves, and wrapped it with more tape. Duct tape seemed to work better for the upside down strips than plain masking tape. After the glue dried, I sanded the face of each half cylinder, then glued the 2 halves together. For the initial roughing and the mounting tenon, I'm using the cone faceplates from my bracelet chuck. I like tools that have multiple uses. I have to be very gentle as there is very little grab in this setup. With the cup mounted in the chuck, I'm more free to be aggressive and finish the rough cut. Now it is time to bore out the center. The insert requires a 2 7/8 inch and a 2 1/8 inch Forstner bit that I don't have and that cost about $50 each. I'm not going to buy them just for this project, so I'll bore it out with my largest bit, a 2-inch Forstner bit, and use a round carbide cutter for the remainder. This has a bit more risk than just drilling it out, so I'll use my do-it-yourself steady rests to secure the workpiece. This hollowing is a tough go, especially when 5 to 8 inches deep in this hard red oak. Next time I would hollow from both ends. I'm having to test the insert many times to get the fit right. This depth was tough. My carbide tip came off once and loosened 3 more times with all the vibration. After a final test fit, I can shape the exterior. Not much I can do with this cup to decorate it. I'll rely on the wood. I'm using one of my ball turning faceplates to secure the tailstock end of the cylinder. One fit perfectly. After some gouge work, I'll switch over to a skew to finish up. Finally, I'll mark for a shallot rabbet, 3/8 inch from the top, that fits under the lip of the insert, and make some final adjustments for fit. Then on to sanding and finishing. I started with sandpaper on a block to remove any ridges and valleys. Since the exterior is a smooth, convex curve, this worked fine. Then on to finer grits and finishing with wipe-on poly for better moisture resistance. My cup's bottom is still an open hole. The insert's guide suggests filling it with epoxy or leaving it open. Not for me. I'll drill out the bottom, turn a plug and glue it in. Then finish the bottom and glue the insert into my wood shell. I glued up this plug with vertical grain to match the grain orientation of the exterior. I don't want expansion differences cracking my mug. This mug is glued to a threaded wood faceplate with CA glue. I need to be careful to allow enough space for the insert. I'll part it off. Didn't I do that already? Yes, but now the plug's glued in. To finish the base, I'll invert the shell on my 4-jaw chuck and an expansion hold. Jaw marks on the inside will not matter as long as I don't split the mug shell. Next time I would turn tenons on both ends and bore out the middle from both ends. Going in 3 to 4 inches is far easier than going in 7 to 8 inches. Maybe I could try building it with a segmented ring so I could hollow the center as I build it. Meanwhile, this one is quite nice. Now here's to you, John Jackson and Larry McCafferty, a spill-proof cup from which to enjoy your favorite Saturday morning beverage while you watch my wood-turning videos. Here's mine. The rest of you will have to make your own. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my As Wood Turns website and YouTube channel so I can keep you updated. Have fun and be safe. Always wear a full face shield. You never know when you'll be happy you did. This is Alan Stratton from AsWoodTurns.com. We'll see you shortly on the next video.